right, everyone. Welcome to the piggybacked episodes. Yeah, I'm a professional broadcaster of the YouTube and podcast game. Okay, I've learned quick. Anyway, welcome to a piggybacked episode of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf, and the Lockdown Golf Podcast, day 21. Is that what we're calling it, Chris?
Correct.
All right, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can already see we have two other faces joining us. I have Jason Hiland of Sub70 Golf and Jay Armour the third.
The third, I wish. No, I don't really wish, but
starting
just Jay Armour, the
shots,
original.
Firing shards. Guys, just to prepare everyone, we've been talking for a bit before recording this, and we're already off the rails, which normally we work our way into. So we warn you now, we can't be held accountable for anything that happens in the next 30 minutes to 4 hours.
William, can you talk about the raccoon situation?
Yeah. So as we left things last Friday, because you're listening to this on Monday or watching this like a week later from that episode. I have had a raccoon issue. Like, we're talking a battle of the ages, my friends. And reason being, we had
battle of the ages, as in the raccoon he scared you.
Oh, terrifies me. Currently,
Rabbit?
I've resolved the situation. I'm still terrified. So
what happened?
We keep our garbage cans outside, or we have. And in short, the raccoon in the neighborhood, I mean, you see him coming in and out of the sewers, you doing work. He gets around the neighborhood, and it's his paradise. But every morning, many mornings you wake up and there's like all of the garbage you brought out yesterday all over the driveway. And I mean, if you threw like a T-bone away or like rib bones away, I mean, they are just bare, completely clean. He gets every last bit of it, but just makes a mess. And I've always said, I don't care. Eat whatever. I'm happy to provide for you. Just don't make a huge mess. And let me throw my garbage away peacefully, which leads me into when this thing went to a new level.
It really escalated here.
It escalated. One night, approximately 7:30 p.m. It's dark because it's, we're in the autumnal solstice. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but it sounded right. Sounded smart. I was taking the garbage out as we were cleaning up in the kitchen. Went up to the garbage can, opened it, and it looked like my little 12-pound black Pomeranian was in my garbage can. I just saw her in the house, and then it turned around and looked at me, and it was the raccoon. So I was lift, throw the bag. And in that time, while it was a split second, I thought to myself, throw the bag on top of it and get out of here. That'll buy you some time. Like he's going to pull out a sniper rifle and shoot me. You know what I mean? It's going to buy me some time. And I mean, I yelled.
Did you scream?
I wouldn't quite call it a scream, but close to it.
He screamed. I guarantee that. I guarantee you he screamed.
I was too, I don't think I could have, because I think I was too shocked out of breath. Like if you jumped into a really cold, like mountain stream, to scream. I was like, that was accurate.
You moved quick, but you probably didn't make a lot of noise.
Correct. Scampered to the house. Came in, got in, I was like, oh God. My wife's like, what? I go, don't go out there. As I was leaving, I hear the top of the garbage can plop open, and I swear I hear him scurrying. Who knows if any of that happened? And it's like I'm sprinting as fast as I can, like he's gonna chase me down and give me the rabies. And from that point forward, as I say in this past podcast, I won't go take the garbage out at night. I'll say to my wonderful, hardworking wife, I'll go, hey, you want the garbage out now and it can't wait till morning? You take it out. You can do it.
I love the idea of, you told the story too once of the raccoon just walking down the middle of the street. like he just owned the place. Like didn't even it doesn't
His
even
world, dude. We're
doesn't
just
care.
living in it.
Like doesn't care.
We're paying.
No,
We pay his taxes. This is his fantasy land.
Would
So
you
yeah,
feel better with like a BB gun pistol or some like defense mechanism, like an air rifle, something to?
here's the problem though. Like, and I told Chris this. I can't fault him for any of this, and it makes me furious that he doesn't talk in any sort of human dialect, because I would be happy to say to him,
he
I'm-
can't
let's
bring
co-
he can't bring everyone to the table and just kind of talk it out.
let's come to
Right.
agreement. I'll even make it easier. I'll unpackage the foods. I'll just dump the garbage can in there so you don't have to dig through bags and stuff. By the way, what's that?
There's a deal to be had here.
Yeah,
That's right.
but he
Everyone wins.
unfortunately he doesn't communicate in English.
Son of a-
At least that I know of. He can't talk back. He can like squeak at me and stuff, but I don't. Maybe it's me. I'm not smart enough to speak raccoon language, whatever you call it. And I'd be happy. Just hey, sit up top there, chew away. We're good. Just don't hide in there when I wait till midnight. Come by at midnight when I'm
right.
not.
If you could
throwing
agree,
garbage
if
out.
you could agree on hours,
Some terms,
you know,
something.
right?
So
That's the whole thing.
this past weekend, while the weather was nice, kids are playing outside, I cleaned the other half of the garage that is a storage side and can fit the garbage cans inside. And I was telling, here's the worst part about all this. I thought being scared to go throw garbage away as a grown-ass man at nighttime while the cans were outside was embarrassing and terrible. I'm still just as scared to walk to my garage, open the door, and go inside of it. Like, I have it in my head. He's unlocking doors. He's figured out how to squeak through mouse holes, and he's going inside my garbage can in the garage still. Like, it's PTSD from this raccoon.
I'm with you, man. I'm skittish like that. Like, I've got a raccoon prowling around here. I found a dead mouse in my garage the other day that I almost grabbed on accident.
Oh, don't worry. We found one in our yard, and my kids were touching it and picking it up. And so
Lovely.
I did talk about too a dead bunny with my son doing it. We got a problem here. What's going on here? Anyway,
Lots of small animals turning up dead, or I guess the raccoon is doing okay.
tell me about your raccoon problem, because I look, misery loves company.
Yeah, so it started months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. My wife and I went out with 6 or 7 other people. We were out at the bars until 2 o'clock in the morning. We come back. I wake up the next day.
How long? Wait, say that again. You have a child. How long were you
Yeah.
at the bar still?
2:30 in the morning. It was late. My wife's parents were here. My wife's parents stayed here.
Oh, you had backup. Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah. We didn't just
Yeah,
leave the kid here.
my
and go to
parents
the
live
bar.
across the street, and my wife's parents live 2 blocks away.
Yeah, it was the last time we went out.
Okay, fair.
But anyway, the next morning I wake up, and this is where the story is super bizarre, is there's 4 piles of crap on my deck. Upper deck. You got to go up 15 stairs to get
Not
up
crap
onto this
like stuff, crap like poop.
Yes, someone defecated on my deck.
On your second-story deck.
On my second-story deck.
2:30 in the morning bar
Yeah.
gift.
Well, I didn't see it until the next morning,
Okay.
but it looked like human feces. It looked like a 100-pound person could have definitely produced this crap. I mean, it was crazy. So, and there was 3 or 4 different piles of this stuff. So I'm like, what the hell? And I thought maybe somebody was messing with me, a neighbor. So, I was like, who the hell did I piss off that is putting crap on my deck?
These kids today.
The Billy Madison thing.
The youth.
So
Right.
yeah. So I throw it off the deck or whatever I did with it. And 3 days later, the same thing happens. And I'm like, all right, now I'm on website, hunting websites, looking at animal scat, trying to decipher, looking at black and white hunting guide tutorials on how to identify.
Was it like a police lineup?
God.
Yeah, pretty much. Here's a possum, here's, a fox, here's a coyote.
Oh,
I'm like, no, not that one. No, not that one. That one, this one, it's it narrows at the end. This one, no. So anyway, I'm like, the only one it's either a human or a raccoon. That's what I determined. And so Anyway, I eventually moved my Ring camera. I have like some Ring camera things around here. I put one on that upstairs deck, and like nothing happened for a week. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting on my couch, which is like 10 feet away from that patio door, like up near the top. And I get a motion alert, and I pull it up, and the raccoon like literally walks up to the camera, like sniffs around, turns around, walks, just like meandered about for a little bit. I got a flashlight and whatever, but it just prowls around here. And now I don't want to go outside at night because I don't know where this raccoon is. It looks like it could beat me up in a bar fight.
Yeah.
Like
This
thing looks like it weighs like 50 pounds. I'm not even kidding.
and
you.
clearly
It's
he has a vendetta because he keeps
Right.
shitting on
Yeah.
your deck.
Well, that hasn't happened in a while, but
Hey.
it could start. Like maybe those were warning shots. Like
You're like, albeit some distance, you're like straight west of me.
yeah,
What if it's that same son of a bitch?
I don't know. I can't rule it out.
They talk about how much wild animals travel. Like maybe that guy's just cruising neighborhoods, makes his way out to Batavia, not to drop towns on you, sorry. Comes back, makes his way here, and just does a loop, and it takes him about a week.
Yeah.
No,
it could be.
he's that guy's in my can. That sounds funny. In my garbage can. Who knows? He's in my
Who knows?
garbage can on way too regular of a basis to be making runs out to where you live. So
Yeah.
maybe they're
distant
cousins.
relatives. Yeah.
Yeah. God, these raccoons. I mean, we're to the
Terrorizing us.
point. I'll show you here. That's my neighborhood golf course we've routed with my neighbor friend. And we're taking it way too serious. I mean, you know me, and I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. We're taking it way too serious. And we've named it after said raccoon. It's Raccoon Trails Golf Club.
Love it.
Got a logo yet?
We have the early stages of one. Again, taking it too serious, and we both have like very serious plans on merch existing. I can't wait to get this is my Oak Park Country Club hat, Donald Ross.
Nice.
But get the raccoon a hat like this, Raccoon Trails Golf Club. Like, oh, what golf club is it? Like, a 9-hole neighborhood course where you play foam balls
with pool water hazards.
Yeah, with
kiddie pool
water hazards and mailmen and raccoons, literal raccoons. Yeah, it's one of the most you keep hearing Pine Valley, Augusta, Chicago Golf Club, most exclusive clubs in America. Raccoon Trails.
Raccoon Trails. Sounds high end. Raccoon Trails National. Gotta have the national.
Oh, I don't
There
hate
you
it.
go.
I don't
There
hate
you
it.
go.
I may have to shoot that to my neighborhood golf course co-partner and
Yeah, it's gotta be
co-founder.
national members too. Gotta have that. That really brings the upper echelon into it with its national membership.
The membership's at 4, but we have some national and international members from Scotland, New York City. It's prestigious.
Right. So like take Kishwaukee Country Club. What sounds better, Kishwaukee Country Club or Kishwaukee National?
I'm with you. Do you
Yeah.
belong to Kishwaukee?
Yes.
I was gonna
Sort of.
say
At this
feel like
point,
that-
we're not open this year, so we technically haven't paid yet. But yes, in theory,
I like that. I feel like that place is in your blood.
I've been out there a long time.
Okay.
What year is it? 22 years, something like that. 23 years.
Wow.
I'd have to look back. Times were changing. That's what back in the day we used to have to go get vetted, do the interview, go meet the president, get sponsored.
Yeah.
And now it's like, do you have a pulse and $1,000? You're
Chris is
That's
like,
my kind of
"Oh,
country club. I'm
No,
yeah.
in. That's
There are the
absolutely.
cards. Help yourself.
I'll shoot you. Let me shoot you a text when I'm done here.
Yeah.
Hey, how's the golf cart business going to get impacted? That's got to be a bad, right? Like that can't be looking good for the next.
I don't think so
while.
because they're all on nowadays. They're all on those lease programs. So it's just another year of the lease.
Yeah.
Unless so I'll just say
Yeah,
in
but
my
if they can't pay him, they can't pay him.
well
They
in
can't
my
pay the
job
lease.
Right.
we have a lot of our customers going. We're just not going to pay you.
Right.
Right.
And like you can either fire us as a customer or we'll see you in a couple months.
Right.
What are you going to do? Be like, okay,
Yeah.
tons of business go away. So I could see that happening where golf courses are going, hey, easy go or whatever. I don't know. I'm not in that business.
Yeah.
we are just not going to pay you because no one's been playing golf. And what are they going to be like? Every 2/3 of the golf community in the country? No, you have to pay us. Go away. Like, no, they're going to be like, okay,
Right. They'll figure it
you
out.
don't
yeah.
really have a choice.
Like Kish owns their own carts. We buy like a fleet every 5 years or rotate them out or something. Do most lease yearly or do the most own them?
Most lease them, I think.
They just lease them on a yearly basis. That's it. It is what it is.
It's a
Well, I
think
relatively
so.
new trend, I think.
Yeah,
though.
they'll lease them on a couple of years, like you would lease a car, right? You would just
Okay,
lease them
3
for
years
like a
now.
3-year whatever, and then just you automatically
Trade 'em in.
swap them out. Yeah,
I think it was coming to a point, especially with public courses, where it's just, I mean, how often, even with newer carts, I mean, even say you get a new batch at your club and you get in one of them and you're like, holy Christ, what's wrong with this cart? And it's brand new. Well, if you bought them all, you have to pay to maintain them and then put 5 years into all of them getting beat up
Right.
by idiots like Chris and me. Well, let's be honest, like Jay at the public course, right?
Yeah.
You got to pay for those too. And so I think they just started going, you know what, this lease program's just, even though I think the golf cart company is probably making more for the course, it's probably it's
If
more
something breaks, it's
economic
your
sound.
it's
Yeah,
just-
they don't want
it's-
to. They just want to call someone when there's issues and tell them
Right.
to come pick up 4 carts that need,
totally.
repairs.
Just
Yeah.
swap 'em
That's a
out and be
job I
done with
want.
it.
Go pick up the golf
question's gonna
carts.
be, too, with clubs, like what starts to happen? Are they gonna have to prorate the seasons this year? Like, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens when people can actually join, private clubs or even semi-private clubs or yearly memberships. It's, what happens if this doesn't really start completely till June?
Right.
Or God, for like September, as some of the the more conservative, not politically conservative, as in cautious
Right.
people are.
Right.
It might be September before they're saying we can breathe a little bit, and then of course you have the people who are like, oh, this is 18 months of quarantine. I mean,
I don't think you could do 18 months. I think the economy would literally just, how would you pay for it?
I'm on a big the economy doesn't really exist thing right now, so I'll just bow out of this topic. I don't lock me in a basement for long periods of time. This brain can't handle it.
Don't tell a small business owner that the economy doesn't exist. All right, Bill.
I just said I'm not to be spoken to about this because I'm saying crazy things. I admitted culpability here. That's not the right word. God, I'm on a.
Bill has a vitamin D deficiency right now. He's just like,
no, I really do. Like, I really do.
That's where he lives. I mean, that's like his whole.
This is how much golfing I'm doing.
yeah.
Maybe
I got enough clubs to play 1 billion rounds with 35 people, but they don't move.
No.
They don't move.
It's going to be interesting. So, when does it actually start? Because, the first thing in Illinois is supposed to be, what was it, April 7th? Was that when we were supposed to go back?
Yeah.
Now
That was totally like we can't freak people out by telling them like May 1st. Like, let's ease people into this.
Yeah.
That date had no chance of being, realistic about it getting back to normal.
Well, I would gamble it as May 15th would be my over-under.
That's where I've been. That's exactly where I've been.
I think, yeah, I think that's probably realistic at this point. I was looking at numbers today, and it looks like
I need a refiller. By the way, can I take a bow out even though we're recording? Can I get a?
Just go get a drink.
Let me check
the bylaws.
It says you can.
We're going live to tape here, so it doesn't matter. Look at that, Bill. It dropped another.
Yeah, it sounds like by the beginning of May, there really shouldn't be people. There really shouldn't be people like dying anymore by early May. But
Well, there will be.
That's a scientific explanation by Jay Armour III of Sub70 Golf, everybody.
I mean, people die every day, Jay. I don't know. I'm the first one that's breaking this to you. But
right, yeah.
Just in general.
Crushing.
Did you know how biology works?
But yeah, I think already we're starting to see hopefully the plateau.
Yeah.
And so if we're at the plateau here in Chicago.
Since when?
Today.
Oh, well, today, one data point. Awesome.
Well, I'm trying to be optimistic here.
Yeah.
William.
No, the report
okay?
I was reading said April 11th, which is 2 days from now, would be the apex.
Yeah,
in
but
that.
the model says the 16th.
Yeah.
That's
So,
just the model, though. There's also, I mean, it's changing every day.
but I think May 15th.
Oil boy,
is,
don't you know models are real?
I have to check those goddamn numbers every morning.
I'm an oil man.
So don't tell me.
The model's looking better though, right? Like less deaths. Like it's actually working, right?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
working. It is working.
We're not even supposed to run out of like beds or
Right.
like
Yeah.
like we still need a bunch of ventilators, but
Yeah.
I
otherwise
thought
everything looks good.
ventilators and ICU we could have a problem in Chicago, in Illinois.
I mean,
I
there's
thought
a
it was
ton
ventilators
of,
and ICU beds, but regular beds were supposed to be fine.
There's a ton of
Yeah.
unknown. The biggest problem right now is that we're not testing enough, and so we don't really know
Right.
how many people have it.
Right.
That's the biggest issue.
Hey
For
guys,
sure.
if we
That's
keep
been
talking,
the issue.
if we keep talking about coronavirus, I'm gonna slam my head into the wall, and it's so
Yeah.
depressing. And
All right, fine.
I made a rule. I made a promise after talking to my mommy that I would be more upbeat and less dejected in these shows. Hey, let's talk Sub70 golf, because apparently you two know a little bit about that company.
A little bit.
Tad.
Not as soon as I said let's not talk about coronavirus. Hey, let's talk about what you guys have been doing during the old lockdown and keeping busy, and what it's been like for you.
Well, for me,
That silence was killer.
yeah,
Like, hey, thanks. Let's
quiet.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's
my
look at each other through the video feed. Like,
well, I'll say like we've had to deal with the coronavirus. My wife had it, so I had to take care of the kids. She's recovered. We were quarantined, so we dealt with that for, what was it, Jay, 16, 17 days, something like that? Didn't quite leave
sounds
me.
about right. Yeah, 2 weeks, a little bit over that.
Is she okay? Is she out of bed? Is she
Yes.
okay?
She's doing
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Can we talk about recovered? Is she like, hey, I'll go to the store now. I'm like
Yeah, right.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, or is she just like, I'm pretty weak, but I don't feel like a tank ran over me?
Yeah, she actually went to Costco today. So we got the all clears. We consulted with doctors to make sure. I mean, we went on the long end of quarantine. We want to be good citizens, not give this to anybody. So we solved that. She's symptom free at this point for quite a while, and she actually went to Costco today to buy groceries. So this is the first time in probably 3.5 weeks or so she actually left the house.
I can't think of a more rewarding or like satisfying feeling, being like, I've already had this. I'm not wearing a mask. I don't have gloves on. Watch this. I just touched something and licked my hand.
Think about how much travel you could do so cheap.
I was just thinking, like, there's no way I'm leaving the house. But then, like, yeah, you're right, Bill. Like, I'm leaving the house.
You still have to say the business, but the odds are, right? Like, if it doesn't mutate, she would actually be, and probably me as well, even though I was asymptomatic, and so were the kids, we probably are okay with this. Although, we're still obviously trying to do the social norms the right way.
I'm going to tell you three, don't take your chances, but your wife, she should be booking a trip to Italy. There's no traffic in Rome. That flight, the round trip flight,
go see the fish in the in Venice, man. Go see those clear canals.
It's probably like $175 round trip. Yeah.
She loves Paris. She could probably go there for a while, but nothing's open, right? That's the problem. But we're very fortunate. It could have been way worse, but she's doing good. I'm doing good. So she is back out in society today. So I was taking care of the family for quite a bit of time, and then kind of just doing some thinking about new projects for next year, working on some new putters, a face balance putter. I got a new iron design in my head. I'm sort of working with the designers overseas for kind of an ultra game improvement club. So just a little bit of
Chris, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it.
Good for your game.
Wide sole, real wide sole, but still hollow body technology, and then bouncing ideas back and forth of like, how do you guys, it's ideas sharing basically. So working on that a little bit just in the concept stage. And then some of our prototypes we're working on, like the iron that we're working on with Tommy Armour III, it's behind schedules because of what happened in China with the coronavirus. So then we've been double whammied for what's going on now of us kind of being, not completely shut down, but we're running at much less capacity and working from home. we're
Yeah,
still behind on some of our projects too.
You've basically been hit twice by this.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
crazy part is like we got hit on the front end from an inventory standpoint when everything was kind of going down in China, and over
Right.
here nobody really cared at that point.
I mean, that was hitting when we ran into you guys at that Chicago
Yeah, we
Golf
talked
Expo.
about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we talked about it when you guys came out.
When we came down to the shop. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yep.
you were talking about Bill
Yeah.
places in China that you were familiar with.
Yep.
And it was just kind of starting at that point, but weird.
So yeah, so you're on the front end and kind of the back end.
The interesting
That's
part is
crazy.
the people I knew over there said it is going to be. They were sending me masks in February, saying you're going to need this, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice of them."
Chris, edit that out so people don't start, flocking to his headquarters and breaking the doors down. This poor guy. So his surviving coronavirus in his house.
You should have been selling logoed Sub70 masks.
I mean, I'll buy one.
They really were like this is, be careful. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't sell stocks going into this, but they were like, you're going to need these, and they sent to us out of the kindness of their heart. Like, and I was kind of like, this isn't going to happen over here, and it did. So, we've been hit kind of twice with it, but like I said, we're fortunate. Everyone's healthy, and we're just kind of playing time out a little bit right now, and we'll get through it.
We've been working on like some website stuff, some kind of behind the scenes, nothing fun for the customer, but just kind of getting things squared away on the back end. I don't even know.
The interesting story was when we had when the mics weren't hot, William. When we were talking,
you say before the mics went. God, you're the industry guy. Even though I'm the editor, you're the industry guy.
You had told the story. I think Jason had told the story to us about like the day that we were going into like lockdown, right? And you guys worked through the night basically to fill every order you possibly could.
Yeah.
Before locking the doors down, which was just like, it's crazy. You don't even think about that.
Insane, because we had to shut. So I think the governor came on, was it 2 or 3 in the afternoon?
2 p.m.
So we talked about, if this happens, what do we do? But I've never been through a drill where you have to think about how do you shut down 3 companies at once, take care of the employees, make sure everyone's safe, put a contingency plan in place, because what do you do with returns coming in? What do you do with the orders in queue? So you're literally just like on the fly. How do we bring this to an end? And then where do we kind of pick up with? It was, there's no training for it. I mean, I think we did as good as we could do, but it was one of those, I felt it was like, you're just like on an adrenaline rush of like, what's next? You'll start with the most important thing and keep parsing it down until we got there. And, number one is obviously safety of the employees, everybody. Here's the contingency plan. Here's how we're going to do it. Then you just, how many orders do we got? We grinded it out on Friday night, got everything done. And then it's like, all right, here's the new reality. How do we, you're talking to your banker, you've got a contingency fund. Like, it's like, you're in it for the long haul now of how do you get through the other side of this? And thank goodness we're going to be okay. And we're going to be just fine. But that day will stick with me forever, of like shutting in mid-season, like right when you're starting to get busy, shutting everything down in like one night.
Well, never mind never mind the nature of the golf industry. And this was, hitting right when golf historically ramps up. And I always use the example. I mean, you could see it.
It's Players Championship Week.
Yeah. And you could see in our website traffic, like, I mean, we always steadily grow, but you go through the lull in the winter season, and then basically January 1st picked up. Our growth trajectory never left off or never stopped. And it's like, man, we're going to have big numbers. And then basically just went, dive bombed. And that was my early warning sign where I'm going, oh, this is going to get ugly. So that's just the golf industry. Then there's just the momentum your brand has had over the past, I don't even want to say, I mean, from day one, I feel like it's been a steady growth, but I almost feel like the last 6 months for you guys has just been outrageous. And the machine was really moving for you guys, and people are starting to be like, oh, this isn't a flash in the pan thing. they're worth paying it. These guys are really worth paying attention to. Things were looking good for you guys this year, and then boom, stop that momentum, halt, right? Or am I
Yeah.
crazy?
No, we were clicking on all cylinders for sure after spending, I mean, if you count the whole planning process and everything else, I mean, years kind of getting the ball rolling, just like incremental little baby steps. And then I would agree with that. Probably over the last 5-6 months, we were starting to see like exponential growth on a monthly like basis. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like in February we were like, scrambling just to keep up because we didn't expect it to blow up that early in the year.
You guys were selling. You were selling out stocks of irons before they even existed, and I think of the 699 Pro specifically. But
they were gone. The first batch we couldn't even put it on the website. They were all sold.
We don't have pictures. We can just tell you a little bit about them. That's it. That's enough. I'm sold.
We made this thing, and people bought it.
Yeah.
We had so many orders of just call me when they're in. That we did have pictures and a description, but the clubs never made it up before they were all gone on the first batch.
I gave Chris. I gave him an out to make him more of a legend than he's already becoming, and he had to say we had pictures and descriptions already.
We didn't even have specs. We didn't have anything.
We didn't even know what color they were. We weren't even sure our brand was on them.
The logo's upside down, but hey,
right, whatever.
We're like, why do these say Muir on them? I don't know what happened here.
It was going really well, and then this happens, but it's beyond our control. Like we can't do anything, and then all of a sudden it becomes not as important in the sense like, is everyone safe and is everyone okay and is their families healthy? It sort of takes a priority a little bit, and then it's like you kind of hit the timeout button and you go, okay, it is what it is, and everyone's struggling a little bit right now, and I'm sure everyone wants to get back to normal. And I really think once we, we'll kind of pick up where we're going. And then I don't want to speak for Jay, but I'm sure he's on the same page. And then we didn't really know, like, what do we do? We don't really want to put promo stuff out because it just didn't feel appropriate. We felt like we should just kind of, for lack of a better word, like kind of take a time out and mourn with everyone. Like, this is hard on everybody. Like,
my normal people.
I mean, Jay, you're the marketing expert, right? Like, how do you react to this kind of thing? Like, what do you do?
We didn't.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, obviously, for everybody. It's, a situation no one really has ever seen. I think we saw the writing on the wall with the shutdown coming and what was going on. So we had some time to kind of mentally prepare ourselves for, the fact that this was probably going to end up happening at some point. From a marketing standpoint, I mean, like Bill just said, I guess, like, we just really are, I think, genuinely interested in, like, staying in contact with the people and, like, being available and telling them, like, we're going to be back. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But it, like Jason said too, like, we're not going to discount product and try and push a bunch of stuff out there. I mean, like, we can weather the storm and wait it out and come out the other side. And we think that, the product and the service and the pricing and everything else is all where it needs to be. And we've had that mindset from the start where it's like, we're not going to run 20% off promo codes every month. Like, that's stupid. I mean, then you're just basically saying there's margin in there that you have wiggle room on that you're sitting on. So we've always taken that approach to it as far as, like, once a year. I think we did a Cyber Monday deal this past year, with every other company on planet Earth. But otherwise, I mean, it's a really strange time, from a marketing standpoint. It's more just like keeping people informed on where we're at, what we're trying to do, and I'm just waiting for the vehicle to get moving forward again.
Yeah, I think just like out of respect to humanity, we just sort of hit the pause. But like, I haven't done any podcasts, and I love doing it. But it's like, I was talking to Kelk, like Calcavecchio was going to come on. It's like,
look at this guy name dropping. He's talking to Kelk. Oh, that guy.
What do you do, right? Like, it's not. It just didn't seem like because you want to talk to him about like, okay, let's say we're going to talk to him like around the players, the Masters. Like you want to talk to him about like the players happening and your experience at the players, Kelk, and and it just felt
For sure.
off. It just felt
Yeah.
off, and I didn't want it to be be sad, because that's not fun for people. So like you guys, we're doing this with you guys now, and I'm going to have a guest on. Like we're starting it next week. I think the shock of it's over a little bit, and it's like, okay, we can now all enjoy a podcast.
Hey, talk to me at about 1 p.m. every work day and tell me the shock's over. You're like, oh, never mind. People are still losing their damn minds. I'm going to start getting 1 p.m.
Some
check-ins
things never
from Jason.
change.
That's fair.
But like personally, I feel like I'm in a space maybe where I'm more comfortable of like, it's not going to be all, nothing's changed, but like, I think I can have a more, what's what I'm trying to look like? Like, I don't feel like I should just be glued to the TV every night, like getting all the information. I still pay attention to what's going on, but I feel like I'm allowed now to have that little bit of part of what we do kind of back a little bit and talk some golf and, talk about like a little bit of fun in your life again. Like it's been serious the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think everyone's like, I'm ready for doing a podcast to kind of bring it back a little bit, and hopefully with like the better news of the curve kind of going the other way. Like it feels like there's a little bit of
a return to normalcy.
There's some normalcy to it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm ready for it now. Like 2 weeks ago, I wasn't ready to do it. Now
it's
I feel
such a weird like thing, because a lot of the stuff that we've experienced in the past, like these crazy sort of traumatic things, are like really sudden, and like, but like this whole COVID thing has been just like such a mind drain, like, and just like never ending. Like it's just like everyone is stuck in this like same Groundhog Day, like oh, it's so crazy.
How much uncertainty is there really, right?
Yeah, I mean, but hopefully we are getting there. I mean, I know Jason and I and everybody else are, damn sure ready to get back on the horse and
I mean, you guys are you kind of reopened, right? Like slowly starting to try to fill some orders here.
Let's preface that with we've learned this. This is an inside info, and this isn't saying you guys are full speed ahead. You made I don't even think it was an Instagram post. It was a story saying, hey, we've been able to figure out how to get some things moving. If you have an order, we're doing what we can for you. Correct?
Yep.
In so many words, paraphrase.
It's a patchwork setup. However you want to, define it. It's, definitely, like Jason said, before the mics were hot, that it's kind of
industry guy.
But yeah, I mean, we're trying to keep up with what's coming in, which it's slow. I mean, it's obviously we're not, getting hammered with orders and phone calls. Nobody's in the office, so we don't have any sales guys or, customer support guys. Nobody's there, but we figured out a way to sort of, get the process lined up where somebody can handle something and there's only one person in the building at a time, and we can get some of the stuff sent out so that we're not way behind the 8 ball whenever this does return to normal. And,
I mean, you are at a point where, I mean, I feel I have the need to clarify this for you. So
you're underselling it, the effort, quite a bit.
You can thank me later. You guys have to because there is, to even do any of this, there is a very concerted effort that has to take place to coordinate who is where when. You can't have 2 people there at the same time, because that's like, I mean, I think that's literally illegal. You have people coming in to the shop one at a time, picking up gear, bringing it home with the right facilities to do it. And I mean, listen, if you're a real golf nerd,
anything like that, but we couldn't come close to operating to where we were at before this happened. So we're kind of trying to, the pace that we're at, we can sort of handle it. And that's why we can't really get it that much more busy right now, because if we were operating where we're at even in February, we wouldn't be able to do it.
But you're putting yourself in a position so when the doors do open up again, you aren't
Behind it.
buried to the point of death. You're like we were before the mics went hot. We were saying it was like treading water, but
he loves it,
yeah,
Jay. He can't help himself, Jay. He just has to say it all the time.
listen, I'm a big production guy. Big production guy.
Bill, I think like what you said though is correct. Like the first week, we kind of shut everything down. Everybody was making sure they were healthy and okay and at home and taken care of and dealing with family stuff and everything
getting
else.
their feet under them in the new reality.
Yeah, and everybody was in a state of shock a little bit. I think like there was a lot of jokes and people were having fun with it at the beginning, and then it slowly has kind of worn to like back
Chris
to
and
reality.
I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't us.
No, so and then I would say we spent the week after that kind of trying to figure out how to get this to work. I mean, it took us, like you said, a lot of kind of going back and forth and figuring out who could do what, when, what was realistic and, you know, whatnot, and just trying to iron out all those details so that we could get to the point where we could just do just a little bit to like keep this thing, you know, going. So like you said, we're not completely overwhelmed because, you know, hopefully if things do return to normal and we can start operating again, you know, we would expect business to pick up significantly, like very quickly, you know, like overnight, people are going to be like, okay, let's go. Like it's back to golf season, you know, hopefully that's the case. You know, we'll see, but yeah, it took some planning and some, you know, kind of organization to get to the point where there's, you know, sort of a handful of people that are all doing, you know, the one little thing to keep, you know, orders kind of getting fulfilled.
I mean, I'm getting my batch of club builds sent to me this week, right? I'll build them and I can send them out for you too.
We trust you completely. 1000%.
Good. All right, cool. And I promise every one of them
doesn't matter. Just you, how you ever think that customer needs it. It's just
and I promise you every one of them will ship. Especially those 639 CB/MB combo sets. They will all go out. I promise.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Bill.
Hey, let's go back.
Man.
Let's go back to that podcast. So, Jason, you do a podcast when things are normal, if you will, on a fairly regular basis, yeah?
Yeah, we did. We averaged about one a week. So we're almost at, Jay, we almost had about 100 episodes.
Yeah, I think this next one will be like episode 99, I think.
The great one?
Yeah. All right.
European
Paulina,
tour.
right?
What's that?
Paulina is right.
That's right.
No,
that's
You son of a bitch.
But
anyway.
She does have it tattooed like down by her hip.
I know.
Which is very weird to me. Very weird.
That is really weird.
It's kind of strange, isn't it?
Yes. A lot of strange.
Yes.
Kind of a anyway.
Very questionable.
Not where I thought this was going. Hey, 99
anyways,
podcast.
Jason,
cool.
talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
So no, Tony's coming on. He does a European tour. He's great on TV. He does Sky Sports. So if you guys watch European tour, you'll see Tony, doing that a lot. And he's got 25 professional wins between European tour and Sunshine Tour and South African Tour. He played professional golf for a long time. So those guys are always an interesting talk because think of the equipment he has seen in his career from starting off with Wood to the
That's my guy right there. Not about his wins, whatever. Think of the equipment.
The equipment, right? Like
I don't give a shit what you won, Tony. Tell me about your first McGregor persimmon driver. That's all I want to talk about.
Bill is not impressed with multiple European Tour wins whatsoever. It doesn't.
Oh, you won the Masters 6 times, Tiger? Let me talk about your putters, okay?
Right. So no, I think it's gonna be a really interesting conversation since he's seen it all. He's won at a really high level, and I think he's a great commentator on TV. So I think there's those in there, guys play the European Tour are like super entertaining normally, and they're usually very open when they were good, when they were bad. Like I sucked during this time, and I was, you get an honest conversation with them. So
yeah, I would say one of the biggest things we've learned doing the podcast is that European players or commentators or whatever they are so less guarded than all the American guys. Like
Bill and I have talked about that.
I would say, Chris, do you hear them ripping off our content?
It's amazing though. Like it's like the American. I don't know if it's because like growing up from a young age, they're basically getting trained to be like a professional athlete, so they're super like aware of like sponsorships and things
Right.
like that.
Right.
Whereas like these European guys, or wherever they're from, it like they just seem like they just shoot from the hip, like, and just have like, I don't know, it's such a more honest conversation whenever you get those guys. It's super fun.
I have strong thoughts, and you two being stuck in it don't have to opine on this. I think American golf is so defined by conformity and 100-year-old culture, and whether you're like an exclusivity and you're not part of us.
That's a hierarchy involved and things like that. Where like, over there really isn't. It's just like,
the Europeans they're like, I play golf once a week. I'm not a golfer. And you're like, what are you talking about? I would murder someone to be able to golf once a week at this point in my life. Like, oh no, I don't take it too serious. And like, but it's just like, I go down to my local course, I give them my £5, and I knock the rock around a little bit, Again,
I agree with Jay. Like one of my favorite interviews with Parnevik, right? And it was just like so honest, like talking about Ryder Cups. Like, when you got Tiger Woods, when you got to play him, like you probably wanted that, right? Like Jesper, there's nothing better than a competitor wanting the best. He's like, are you kidding me? That was the worst draw ever. I was like, oh, shit, I don't want that guy. Of anybody, I don't want him on a Sunday. Right?
I can't beat Tiger.
Right.
He's like, oh no, it's the worst. Like I was shitting myself. Like, no, the odds of that. And he's like completely honest with it. Like he grinded his ass off, and I think they tied. But he was like, no. I was expecting the answer to be like, well, of course I wanted the best, right? I wanted
you threw him the softball of like, like how amazing was it to go up against the best in the world? And he's like, it sucked. It was terrible. I didn't want to do that.
I love Jesper.
Awesome. He had like great stories about playing in the European Tour in the late 80s when the money was so terrible that if you were basically in a great town to go out and you were like tied 52nd, it wasn't worth not going.
You wouldn't show up the next day, right? It was like forget it. I remember that episode.
But if you finished like 42nd or 53rd, there was no difference. The $100 difference literally wasn't worth the great night in the Czech Open. So they would like. And I would ask him, with Sam Torrance, if he was top 10 on Friday, would you find him in a bar on a Friday night during the traveling circus? Like he's like 100%.
Right.
He's got a late tee off time. He's going out for a few. Like he wouldn't get wrecked, but he's having a nice dinner, 5 wines, a few cigarettes. He's gonna go play golf the next day.
Right. A few cigarettes. He means like a carton.
A few dozen.
Parnevik said like it was like a lifestyle, like a traveling circus. It was simply a lifestyle that was led, and he's like, it was so much fun. Like the conversations were just awesome because it's exactly how you imagine the European Tour was in 1988.
I always think Faraday tells a good version of that story where because he has all his demons where he's like, I missed the cut. Oh, I think on purpose at that point. So, I'm missing the cut in Ireland, waking up in Spain. How did I get here overnight?
That story ever after winning the Scottish Open, didn't he go party with Jimmy Page in London and never found the trophy?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, and they had to make a new trophy.
Worth it.
He started off in Scotland and woke up in London, and the trophy's never been found.
Yeah, something like that.
It's at Page's house. We all know it's at Jimmy Page's house. He's like, this is my trophy now.
His favorite possession.
every time I play Ramblin' On, I put this on top of my old JMP. Not a big deal. That's guitar talk.
And I really think there is like, you can see how the Europeans could be like such a great Ryder Cup team, right? Because like they would just gel and they're like chill, and I think they don't let the moment get too big. Like it's a huge moment, but I like I love our American players too, but the Europeans got a great vibe. They really do. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to regret this. I support Europe in the Ryder Cup over the U.S. every time.
You can't do that.
How do we mute Bill on this thing?
You can't because of my
If
Zoom.
we all touch him, will he get kicked out?
Like we're still Americans, but I like the Euros. Like they're just every European guest is just like I could go have beers and hang out with that dude.
All right, so 1, Ian Poulter guy, big Ian Poulter guy. 2,
of course, Bill's a big Ian Poulter guy.
Yeah,
he's a Jeremy.
That fits
Chris,
so perfect.
Chris. First off, I'm reserving my comments to you, but you almost got some harsh ones because we're recording. I didn't use them. 2, he is like the Jeremy Roenick of golf, and I think if anyone.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
What do you mean? How dare you?
How
Oh,
dare
I'm sorry.
you?
You know what? I don't mean to put Ian Poulter in that light after Jeremy Roenick's comments about having threesomes with Catherine Tappan and his wife and getting kicked and fired from NBC. My mistake.
Still wasn't while he was playing. When he was busting his ass for our Blackhawks.
No, him and Tony Amonte just got in a big fight because Jeremy Roenick, Tony Amonte gave Jeremy Roenick's girlfriend his tickets right next to Jeremy Roenick's wife, allegedly.
It's all alleged.
Shut up.
I can't believe you made me defend Jeremy Roenick. That's what it's come to.
I'm a big Jeremy Roenick guy too. That's the worst part.
This is where we've gotten. It's COVID-19.
Right.
I'm with Bill. Like, I like Pultz to come up as an assistant golf pro to get to where he is. It's actually a great story. Like, that doesn't happen that often. You don't start off as an assistant pro in Europe at a golf.
Listen, we can do a whole episode.
Yeah, but I also enjoy Pultz. When he's on the Ryder Cup team, I don't.
I've grown to appreciate Pultz for sure, but he's like a perfect, villain in the Ryder Cup, which I appreciate.
Up,
I don't. He is.
I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you. You shut up, Bill.
The problem with the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup is that Patrick Reed weighs evenly the other direction for me.
You're
so
right.
I'm kind of like, ugh.
He makes things real tough.
Right.
That's true.
I don't want that.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, check this out. Remember that Miracle at Medina?
Nice.
God, you're the worst. Why do you hate America, Bill?
Sunday, I was out there.
Were you really?
Yeah. I was out there that Sunday. I remember telling myself, you're watching bad history from our side, but I saw it all happen.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome.
You got to give Pultz credit. Like, it's not the prettiest swing in the world. He's gotten the most out of his talent. What's he got? 12 European Tour wins, something like that. Like, he's a hell of a player, man.
For sure.
You don't win that many times around the world without being great. He's a great player.
No, for sure. There's a reason that Americans hate him, right? Because the dude just kills.
I think Americans have grown to hate him less than they hate Patrick Reed. So,
yeah,
and Patrick Reed won them a Ryder Cup, for Christ's sake.
I would trade Reed for Pultz in a second, in a heartbeat.
I think Poulter has, over the last 5, 6, whatever years, has certainly kind of earned, I don't know, more appreciation. I don't know how to put it, but he was definitely more of a villain in the past. I think
he was so much more fun in the villain era.
When he had his frosted tips.
Oh
his
yeah,
visor.
his gold jumpsuit.
Right.
Oh, that was awesome when he got the big fine because he wore an Arsenal jersey instead of a golf shirt.
Jay, don't you think it is that people start to appreciate the talent when you've been on tour and that good for now 20 years plus? I think there's also acknowledgement that that is hard to do, man, to be good for 20 years plus on both major tours for a long time and winning at both tours. It's hard to do it for 20 years plus, and he's proven he's good.
And I've been good for 0 years as an amateur who plays recreationally.
And I have respect for that. I have respect for every time you shoot 78 from the middle tees. I'm tipping the hat and going, well done, sir.
God, it's been 4 years since that's happened. Jesus. Thanks for the credit, but that's not happening these days, bro.
It's hard to be that good for that long. How many
didn't he lose his card too and then he earned it back?
No,
he did lose his card.
He did, but
remember that was the Brian Gay when they had the.
That's right. Yeah.
He never technically lost it because of the math equation.
Oh,
no, other way around. He technically lost it, but then he got it back because Brian Gay's wife went, hang on, the math doesn't add up. And the PGA Tour went, oh, it doesn't. Oh, and by the way, Pultz, you're back.
He's back. And then he went nuts, right? Didn't he win $3 million in the next season? He won the event. He played second at the Players. That's what I'm saying. When the chips are down, that's
right. That was the second at the Players. And he won he wasn't high enough in the rankings for the Masters, and then won the Houston Open as the last chance to get in.
That's right.
He's a gamer, man. He's just friggin' good. He's just good. He gets the ball in the hole. Period. That's what I say. He's good.
we haven't even scratched the surface on my Ian Poulter problem. Just gonna tell you guys. I'm also regretting taking that picture down to show you because that's gonna be a real pain in the ass to hang back up on the wall.
When did you get it signed by him? By the
Serves
way?
you right.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will tell you. I knew a
He
few
bought
people.
it. He bought it.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
eBay.
no, no, no. I
You
knew
can
a
get
few.
anything on eBay.
This is when I should have known I was destined to be Mr. Golf Media Internet guy. I knew a few people back in the day when IJP Design, his clothing company, was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I'll just say they took pretty good care of me.
This
leave it
guy.
at that.
It's
Clothing
just the
company didn't
worst.
do. How did that clothing company not just like flourish in Europe?
It did for a little bit, but I've noticed a pattern. Like the Europeans aren't big. Like we just got to buy everything. You know, they get their clubs, they use them for 15 years, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I should get something new. And
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
like us. Yeah.
not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not chasing the shiny object every year, every
No,
6
or
months.
the pastel style or the whatever
Right.
thing. Like they don't do that.
So William,
No.
do you have any of the IG the Poulter clothes? I mean, do you have any leftovers still from that collection?
I do
Yeah,
have a
let's see
little
your
bit of it,
trouser
actually.
collection.
I do. And I literally have a pair. So, oh boy, real roundabout story. Here, Chris, as we talked about Scott Redmond concepts on the last episode,
Of course.
but at one point, and I didn't know this when I started dealing with them way back in the day, IJP Design sent them like a bunch of the fabric they were using for his tartan trousers, and they made out of those putter covers for them to sell. So knowing them like I do these days, I still have a bunch of these like old IJP tartans.
So you've got Ian Poulter's pants as a putter cover? Is that what you're getting at here?
Literally
trousers?
his pants. I was like, yo, let me get them pants. I'll make them into putter covers. No. Not ones from your website. Those ones. No, I kid. But I do have like old tartans or plaid pants for those who don't know what tartan is. From the IJP Design days. I'm like, tell you what, I'm either A, not going to wear these, B, they fit me like 12 years ago. They don't now. I'll give them to you guys, make some covers out of them or something. So I recently unearthed a pair from my garage, like, up in the rafters, threw it through the wash and the air dry. So I could go grab a pair and show you to them. But yeah, I do have some old IJP Design laying around.
I can respect that. Then you've been in for a while.
Oh, I've been a Poulter guy since college. I graduated college in 2007. That gives you a timeline.
Fair
I'm
enough.
with William on this one. I got respect for Ian. I think he's good. He's great. He's good. He's great.
Jason, this is why we're such quick best friends. Just say it.
I mean, it's proven.
I just wish he wasn't so good against us.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's fair, but I don't care. And he bought. He's a partner in the ownership of buying the state police car that rushed Rory McIlroy to his Sunday.
Oh yeah,
his
that's right.
Is that
Sunday
right?
Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
Is that right?
He
Poulter
has-
has it in the car museum with all of his Ferraris.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Illinois State Police car that got Rory to the Ryder Cup in Medina.
And introduced Rory to his wife.
Did he really?
He did.
He
Really?
married that girl that got him to the course at Medina. That's
It
his
wasn't a
wife.
girl. It was a guy that drove him.
No, but she was the one that was getting him to the course or whatever.
Mr. McElroy, it's your wake-up call at the hotel. You're late, bro.
Well, there might have been a reason why she may have been the reason why he was late in the first place.
I
but
thought it was
nevertheless-
some model chick.
Allegedly. He said allegedly.
Right.
We didn't say
Yeah.
that as fact. It's alleged.
Rumor has it.
If Rory wants to come after me, God bless him.
Yeah, right.
Rory, we'll take Chris. He'll drink your milkshake, oil guy. He'll take the lawsuit. I have nothing to do with this.
Well, speaking of since we're on the golf topic, Ryder Cup, what are they going to do for the teams? Looks like that's still on. Is it going to be 12 captains picks? Is world rankings? How are they going to solve this year if
It's a good
we're
question.
not playing full tour events here?
What
till
did
June or July?
Podrick say? He said something like, it's going to come down to those last few weeks of PGA tournaments and assuming there'll be some European tournaments. And then there's been two arguments, like just take the top 12 rankings,
Yeah, or just
Why
give them
wouldn't
12
you?
captains picks.
or
Yeah.
just be like, hey, here's the 8 top rankings, 4 picks, go. Sorry, you don't have much to go on, and we'll just
Yeah.
go off of who's the hottest now.
What about
Right.
just leaving the captains? You pick the 12. Just go pick them. It's an
That'd be
exhibition.
Just
anyway.
do a
Make it-
live draft. Do a draft. You know.
Just take your 12 guys you want right now, because there's not enough. There's going to be such a delay in play. Those guys are, they both have been on tour. They're still current. Like,
Yeah.
still out there enough. They know. Like, pick your
Yeah.
12 guys you want.
Yeah,
Let's
because
do
you're only gonna have what, 6 tournaments before that, 7 tournaments before that. Like, you're not gonna have a lot to work off, so you might as well just pick some dudes and go.
I just look, I don't care. I just hope it happens. That's why I'm at right now. I just hope it happens. Just go. Need that shock mount on this new mic stand here, Chris. Just by the way, but
so
we'll
it's not so easy, huh? Now you know why I hit the mic every once in a while.
yeah. All right. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry.
So you're fine if Paul McGinley's back on the team. Just bring the classic Euros back. Just
Do it.
put them out there.
What?
For
Nick
sure.
Faldo?
Right.
You and Sergio are going to be
Sandy
a
Lyle.
floorball team? Let's go.
Let's go do it, right?
Sandy Lyle would have been playing today at Augusta, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
What about some of those old guys? I wonder, were there any old guys that this was going to be their last Masters?
Larry Mize, was he close?
I would imagine. Like,
Might
what
have
happens
been.
to that? That
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, here. Oh, you know what?
Just hold off till November, bro. Like, just hang on.
Yeah. Hang on, man. You got 6 months.
It's so funny, though.
Just stay in your house, man. Don't leave.
Watch out for that COVID in the cars.
At the Open Championship, this is supposed to be Kelk's last one. Do
Yeah,
they
I
give him
remember.
one more
Yeah,
year? How does that work? Do they give him one more then? They almost have to, don't
they
you?
better.
I'll tell you what. I'll let it happen. Give them one more.
They got
Yeah.
to. You can't not have an Open champion get the chance to try to
Yeah.
make a cut and do one more, right? You
Yeah.
have to. You can't
For sure.
deny that moment.
Yeah.
He deserves
Are
it.
they gonna just cancel then the one this year, like at Royal St. George or whatever?
It was it's been
Because-
canceled. Yeah.
I know, but like, well, I mean,
Oh,
So
you mean
that-
they're gonna reschedule it for next year or
Yeah,
whatever? Yeah,
because
because it
so-
was like an anniversary, right? this
right.
year?
So the reason, so it usually gets played at the old course every 5 years, every 0 and every year that ends in 0 and every year that ends in 5. But
Huh.
somehow it got goofed up, and so like the 150th Open is next year, and they wanted to do it at St. Andrews.
We're going to do that one at St. Andrews. I
They-
But
promise.
now it's going to be the 149th Open.
Oh.
Right.
So now, like, do they do it? Do they bump everything back a year?
So you're saying, did they do it at St. George's again?
Next
Right.
year in 2021.
Yeah, and then bump
I guess
St.
it
Andrews
wouldn't,
back.
right? It wouldn't hurt anything.
But that's why St. Andrews got like bumped back because, like you said, it was like an anniversary thing where they wanted the 150th to be at the old course. So, yeah, it's kind of goofy.
I'll actually send Kelk a message on that. I'm actually curious if they've said anything to him now it's officially been
Well, ask
canceled.
Tony when you talk to him.
Yeah, he would know, right? What do they do with the guys who are on the? Because I think it's by age at the Open, right? I think when you're 60, that's it.
I have no idea.
One can play past 60. Is it 60 or is it some? Where's the cutoff? Why would this be Kelk? Kelk won in '89, so why would this be his last? Is it by? It's got to be by age, right?
I would he won in '89, so he hasn't.
30 more, you get 30.
Yeah. I don't know how
Like-
that works.
Yeah, me either. We'll have to learn.
What's Augusta now? Is it by age, or do they get the letter where you say you're kind of not competitive and this is your last one?
Yeah, I think they decide like if it's if you won.
They heavily suggest like maybe you shouldn't tee it up the
Yeah,
next year.
Right.
Like you shot
Right.
88, 87.
Right.
I think they did officially decree there would be an age limit now.
At the
But
Masters.
what do you do
Yeah.
if you're Freddie and Freddie is still long enough to be competitive there? I mean, Freddie could top 30
Dude, Bernhard top 20s every year.
Yeah, for sure.
by 60, right? Because Langer finished 22nd last year or something at 62 years old.
Hey, Jay, show some respect. It's not Bernhard, it's Bernard.
Bernard.
Come on, Bernard.
Bernard.
Bill and his Euros, man. Like he's just like
I don't know if you know.
Hey,
you want,
hey, Bill, why don't you just
What?
move over there, okay? Just get out of the country.
I thought I wanted to all my life,
Take
being
flights.
being an Anglophile due to that band called Oasis again. And then I got to go there. I've been there a bunch of times since. I took one trip to England. I'm like, oh no, nope, I'm good.
So I could just move to Seattle instead.
That's true.
Yeah.
true.
Seattle's England? Well, I guess weather-wise, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
weather-wise,
saying.
but culturally, it's still America. It's
Right,
actually, like,
exactly.
it's a better America in Seattle.
Oh,
Yeah.
did we figure out the
Jeez,
math
easy.
of
Whoa. Let's not
Is
start a
the
war.
cutoff based on ability versus age? Is that sort of where it is, where you get suggested? Like, so Longer might literally play in it to his 68.
I mean, my understanding is like the Masters, right? You basically have a lifetime exemption. So
Right.
I think they just maybe like very bluntly suggest if your talents aren't there anymore that maybe you should sit it out. Like,
I swear I remember age. It's an aging like
Fred Ridley comes out and he shakes your hand on Friday afternoon and he's like, hey, maybe next year
Maybe you
it's
sit
the
this one
last
out,
one.
champ.
well, and I
Yeah,
think
right.
well, I think that's why they made it an age thing. So like that didn't have to happen where they pull you aside and like, hey, listen, you kind
Wouldn't
of
Doug
suck
Ford go
now.
play 9 holes and withdraw after shooting 50 when he was like 86 years old? Like that was starting to get to the end of it, right? Because guys
Oh,
were
yeah.
But
Well,
seriously though, like, what if Phil Mickelson is 63 years old and he's out there trying to pound drivers and like
Right.
people are eating it up? And then, I don't know. It's super weird. But
I'm sure they'd make an because this is what
There will be some guys
do.
that they'll let out there until they're dead. Right? Like,
Longer is 62 or 63, somewhere there, right?
yeah, but he's still. I mean,
Well,
he's
that's what I'm
still
saying. You can't tell
playing
him
golf.
he can't play. Christ,
For
he's
sure.
competitive out there. He's literally competitive.
Well, that
Yeah.
was a big deal with him on the senior tour was that he there's like I don't remember what the stat was, and it's been a few years now because him and a couple other people have defied it, but they're like it's really about the first 2 years of being eligible in the senior tour that you have to just rack up your wins because there's such a sharp fall off as you get older. And then there's some stat about how the percentage of wins that go to anybody over the age of 55 or whatever.
It goes way down.
Yeah.
But then the problem is he's in his 60s. I'll be
taking
early
everybody's
60s.
lunch money.
Yeah, just kicking the shit out of everybody for years.
Well, when that Players Championship was out at Exmoor, Jay and I went out there. Somehow we got media passes, and we went out there on the Tuesday and just watched. I didn't realize, Jay, don't you agree with this? He's long still.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It was like, Jesus, this is hit, really good still. Because you think of him as kind of like a precision player, which he is. But he seemed to have, I don't know, you think the same thing, Jay? He had plenty of pop in the bat still. It was hit 290, 285. Like, he could pop it out there pretty good still.
Well, and he's probably a perfect case of all those players where they're like, well, he could hit it longer, but for this reason, he tries to only play at 285 to 295.
Right.
And you're like, I try to hit it as far as I can every time, and I'm a shit show. So
So he would have been like in his early 60s. Watching it up close, it was still absolutely world-class good.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, and what's interesting has always been that it's just been known any young guy coming on the senior tour is still going to get the crap kicked out of him by Bernard. And then there was all that like, well, I have no doubt when Phil hits it, if he decides to at 50 years old, hit a few senior events, Bernard's going to wipe the floor with Phil. But that said, Ernie made a brief showing already and has sort of turned some heads and been like, oh, wait, hang on. Ernie Els may be the passing of the torch and how it's not fair that these.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Ernie Els is my dude, man. I love that guy.
But Ernie
He's awesome.
Ernie's gonna, I think, create a little disparity amongst the ranks in the senior.
Jason, where are you going, man?
My phone's about croaking here.
Oh,
Well, Ernie's got so much it's just so much talent. How do you?
Shit, my phone's
He
gonna die
can
too.
miss 1.5 footers like the best of them. Still the
Somebody
best
just
video.
posted that. Yeah, that
Yeah,
Saw
that's.
horse. I didn't watch it.
I don't want to.
was like,
I don't want to see it. I don't
No,
want to see it. I
either
saw
did
when
I.
it happened, and I'm good. I don't want to watch
It gave
again.
me chills just
Yeah.
seeing the post. I
I'm
was
afraid
like,
that
oh no.
I'm afraid that I'll like catch whatever
Yeah.
that was. Like,
No, see,
it was like a
it's
close up of the putter too. I was like, oh no.
it's so bad that I don't even like.
5 or
It's
6?
so unreasonable. You can't even be infected by it. Like this isn't real.
Was it
Oh,
5
man.
putt or a 6 putt
5-putt, right?
from a foot and a half?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I felt
Yeah.
for the guy. He's like, I've heard like the guys who know me. He's supposed to be like a really good dude. Like
Oh,
it's hard not to pull for Ernie.
He'll
right?
beat he'll beat the shit out of you while you're sleeping on his
I-
plane, but he's a good
yeah,
guy.
man.
You know,
This-
story?
Yeah,
Steve Davis
surfing
said
the
it.
landings.
That's right. Yeah.
I played a round of golf with a guy. Is Ernie's place on Lake Nona?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I played a round of golf with the like a former GM at Lake Nona, and he became friends with Ernie, and he had some hilarious stories, like basically like going out in the morning and you'd hear music from like 1,200 yards away, and the maintenance guys would be driving around like clearing dew off the fairways and stuff or whatever the hell they're doing at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And Ernie would be sitting out by his pool by himself with just beer bottles and like stuff everywhere. Like he had a party, but he's the only one still standing.
All right.
He
Everyone
would
left.
be like, yeah, and he'd be yelling at the maintenance guys at like 7 in the morning, like, "Oh, Mike!" Like just still out there chugging beers. Like, what? He's like,
my
said he's the
dude.
nicest dude in the world.
That was also the Champions Tour event when we got yelled at by VJ Singh.
Yeah,
That was always
it was a
fun.
rite of passage, I think, in the golf industry.
Yeah, seriously. All right, you must be a golf person. You've been
Yeah.
yelled at by you. Chris and I know like our outlets are really going to take off when we can get yelled at by VJ.
Yep,
Can't
Yeah.
wait. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
we got yelled
it's
at
not
by
hard.
VJ.
Just find out where he is, and
I say, Chris, let's get him on Golf Origin Story so he can get yelled at. Just get it
Right.
out of the way.
He can yell
Ask
at me
him
for
about his
40 minutes,
cheating
and I can say
scandals.
thanks for coming. Right.
God.
So
Tell you
there's
what, he hits it good still too. It's,
oh, he's amazing.
yeah, it's just he didn't seem
He's like a
real
golf
confident.
machine.
Yeah. Right.
with his all of his Adams clubs, he's still playing.
You know who
Unbelievable.
else was the coolest dude ever from that tournament? You could go spend.
Tom
Tom
Kite.
Kite was friggin' the man.
I've heard that about him.
We
Awesome.
walked like 9 holes, like with him, and like 2 feet away from him.
Yeah, just
Really?
asking about everything. The U.S.
Oh,
Open
man.
he won, Hogan, growing up in Austin, Harvey Pennick, designing with Ben Crenshaw, Austin Country Club. How he was telling Jay and I like how you look at a golf course, and he was telling us like what he's seen. And do you see what I'm seeing? And Jay and I are like, we would have never thought about that in a
I'm like-
million years.
It's like someone explaining like a, impressionist painting to me or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd be like Zach Galifianakis at doing the Goodwill Hunting scene in Hangover.
right.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
yep, mhm.
Yeah, it's like what did Jay like? He was talking about the low point of the golf course, and then the putt will break more. And it's like, so what do you guys see in this putt? And we're kind of like, it looks straight, and he's like talking. The land starts here, then he putts it, and it breaks more. Jay and I are
Shut
like,
up. Really?
yeah, like we never would have. How do you like Mr. Kite? So what are you looking at? He's like, well, that's the low point here. So it's an optical illusion, but on Exmoor, this is going down to here. So this putt's going to
Wow.
break more. What do you guys see? And Jay and I are looking at it like, I don't know. We just like walk up and try to hit it on the green and try to like shoot it from there.
I was so, I think, in my own head trying not to like get in the way or do anything idiotic, like, have my cell phone ring or
Yeah.
just like do like accidentally walk into a bunker or something. So I think I was kind of like having an out of body experience where I was just like watching myself, making sure I wasn't going to do anything
Standing in front of him
You
while
wanna
he's
be
trying to
that
hit a
guy.
shot.
No,
Yeah, like-
the best analogy I could give, like if you're a Cubs fan, like as much as I love golf, is it'd be like you get to go hit shag balls and play with Ernie Banks. And we got to go walk
Man.
9 holes with Tom Kite and explaining how he prepares for a major. In life,
Yeah.
in golf, and winning a major, and talking about all of it. And he was just the absolute coolest dude in the world.
Oh,
Like-
and you got to walk
That's awesome.
Exmoor.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was cool too.
Yeah.
We got yelled at by VJ and got to spend time with Mr. Clayton on the same day.
And that was the first time we met TA3, and he was like, I'm kind of more of a no laying up guy.
We got sat down at first.
We were like, all right, I could,
Hey,
fair enough, Tommy.
TA3, you're not a child anymore. It's okay to move on with life.
He was awesome. He was a total gentleman, though. He really
he was. It was funny.
But, Jay and I were like, this Tom Kite is like afterwards, Jay and I are like, he is the coolest dude in the world. Like, and he's still good, by the way. Like,
oh, yeah.
Jay and I were like, when he was 70, like almost 70 years old. And Jay and I were like,
he would take me to the woodshed every day.
Oh,
for sure, right?
Yeah, he would clobbered us.
I mean, is that saying much so, Jay? Let's be honest.
No, it's not saying anything really. But besides the fact that I would lose 10 out of 10 times.
10 times for Tom Kite. Yeah. At 7 years old, Tom Kite would destroy your best player at your club who wins the club championship.
Yeah.
He would destroy him. He's still that good at 70.
So I have an uncle who, he's up there in age. He played college golf. I mean, let's just say he lived the life kind of a deal, and was afforded the better side of life through his years. And he played college golf at Penn, and nice. He can name drop like, oh, I knew this guy, knew that guy, going way back in the day. And it'd be when I was at the peak of my game where I actually was pretty good and could put some good numbers up, and it'd be I would almost say cocky, and there'd be nothing more demoralizing going out this guy, and I'm hitting 310 off the tee, and this guy's hitting, he really got a hold of one, getting 245, and he just kicks the shit out of me no matter what tees we play.
Yeah.
And it was so, he'd be like, oh God, I'm hitting on this par 4 into the wind, I'm hitting driver 3-iron pitching wedge, and then he still has a 45-footer and he makes it for par, and I'm like, oh God. Okay, so yeah, I can only imagine. And he wasn't pro or anywhere near that, so I can only imagine how demoralizing Tom Kite would be.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Kite still hits at what, Jay? 265, 270 on a frozen rope. Like, it was.
He'll be getting around on a walker.
He's still hitting pretty good.
Taking 7.5 hours to play 18 holes, but putting up a 68 from the tips.
Well, we talked about that a bunch. Like, a lot of the guys that are like in their 50s now, they hit it as far today as they did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Longer.
Right.
Or longer, right? A lot of them are longer, right? It's crazy. So, yeah, Tom Kite, you give him like the new equipment and how efficiently he hits the ball, and it's, he can still get it out there.
Well, yeah, that golf course was playing, 7,200 yards or something like that? Like,
Exmoor?
71?
I just can't. I feel like, aren't they notorious for they don't have much range in that property, and it plays well?
I mean, you could stretch it to 71.
Yeah, I can't play it too short, or else they wouldn't have the tournament. So.
Yeah.
Were they playing as a par 70? I can't remember.
I think it was a par 70, if I'm right. And you and I were way off on what they thought they would shoot from walking it, Jay. Didn't we think like 11 or 12 under would win, and VJ shot like 19 or 18 under?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, we didn't see that. Like, I was like, this course isn't exactly easy. Those guys are still so stupid good. It's ridiculous. It's a different level.
Right.
Different level. Well, boys, my phone's about to croak out here. I'm about 2%.
That was mine, actually.
I have two more questions. One, Chris and I are a package deal. When are we coming on your podcast? And do we have to talk golf?
In theory, let's start talking golf, but it could just go off any direction.
Perfect.
How about we do it? So we have to start talking golf at first. So how about this? How about after the first PGA Tour event starts, we'll do like a recap so we can actually talk golf, and then we'll talk raccoons. The races.
We haven't talked about bread making yet either, Jason. I know you're dying to hear about bread making.
And bread making. Right. We can do all of that. But we'll at least start off with, I'll ask you about the tournament, how excited you were about.
Somebody get Jay Monahan on the phone and get this tour back in the air so that we can
in
make
a
this
hurry.
podcast happen.
Just so we can talk about Brad.
Yeah, let's go.
Poulter's going like T48, so we can talk about those rounds.
Here's a question for you. If we get a Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, does that count as an event? No, it has to be a PGA Tour sanctioned.
I mean, I'll take it. Anything to talk bread making.
No,
All right.
it needs to be Poulter finishing T48, and then we got something to talk about.
All right, there we
Perfect.
go.
Second question, Jay.
Yeah.
How you getting that hair? How you keeping that hair looking so smooth during quarantine here?
It's just all natural flow. You know, wash it once every 3 days. Just let it, yeah, just let it get really nice and grimy.
Might have to get-
I don't know how this is going to get cut when I am allowed back to
Say,
civilization.
are you with us? We're not cutting our hair.
I'm not
So,
cutting mine for a
Yeah.
while.
Like
So
Bill
there
and
you go.
Jason and I have already talked about not cutting our hair. So
Yeah, I'm in, man.
all right, sweet.
Someone
Yeah,
get this guy a
100%.
Bauer 4500 in the mail.
We can't.
I'm legit. I think I'm gonna have like an afro though if it keeps going because like my hair starts
it's out
it
of
starts
control.
going outward.
I like
Look at
it.
this.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm
But we
jealous.
can't cut it until we play around the golf together.
That
We
sounds
got to
fun.
get you guys out at Kish National on a Tuesday, on a men's night for that experience.
Hang
All right.
on, my arm's just been twisted. All right, I checked my calendar.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah. Let me know.
Oh,
I have vacation days for days.
There's a
All
good
right.
group of, I call them like absolute degenerate golf addicts out there, and they're like my guys. Like, it is such a fun club in the country. So you're gonna have to stay afterwards and assuming the restaurant opens and we don't have to social distance, we have to stay out and like drink with the guys and like have dinner and stuff there too.
Done.
Oh, okay.
We'll sleep on the sub 70 shop floor. It's fine.
I've got
Not a
I've got
bad spot.
bedroom. We're fine. Water bed for you. You'll be completely comfortable.
Perfect. All right, guys.
Do it.
It was fun.
It's been a
Thanks for having us.
It was
pleasure.
fun, man.
Chris, you look handsome as ever with that background. Damn it. One day when I grow up, I want to be you.
Yes, seriously.
I know.
You don't have to fight with raccoons where I come from.
No,
No.
not that high rise.
No, you just have to
Not
fight
that
with
proud.
gun crime.
It's okay, but still.
All right, everyone. Stay safe,
right.
healthy, happy. Let's get out on the other end of this. All right.
Thanks, guys.
And okay, we'll talk to you later.
Cheers, guys.
Sounds great.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.